The Team Lally show was previously recorded.
It's time to enter the world of real estate in Oahu with Hawaii's only true real estate radio show, the Team Lally Real Estate Show. Grab a pen and get ready to take notes. For the next full hour, Hawaii's premier real estate leader, Adrienne Lally, and Attilio Leonardi will bring you the latest in real estate news and real-world strategies on how they can guarantee to sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to, or they'll buy it. Now, here are your hosts, Adrienne and Attilio.
Welcome to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. If you have any questions, just give us a call at 799-9596 or check us out online at teamlally.com.
Well, hey, in a second, I'm going to tell you why we got to go fast and jump to things and don't be lollygagging on certain topics, because they did a study on the average length of the attention span of human beings today with the movies and the social media. And you know how long the attention span is for human beings on average?
I believe you had said like 45 seconds.
Yep, close, 43 seconds. But 43. Who's counting? These people that did the research, they're counting. So this is that art part of the show. And in 2 seconds or less, what is that about?
Attilio's random thoughts.
All right. So
for January, you said you were going to offer health tips.
Oh, no, I lied. No, here's your health tip. Well, go exercise every day, minimum 10 minutes. Just get up and walk. Mm-hmm. We are in a society where we're sitting in front of our phones and TVs and computer screens all day long. Literally just get up and walk for 10 minutes, just as a minimum. Mm-hmm. An ideal, per the research, is about 30 to 40 minutes 3 times a week. And you're going to see cognitive effects, high blood pressure, everything. Everything is going to be good for you in every way. And your cognitive effects means that, you know, your brain uses 25% of the energy of your body. So why not set it up for success by having a good, healthy heart and blood pressure and all that good stuff? What I wanted to talk to you guys about today is the front door of a business. The front door of a business is the gateway to the business, Adrienne. And typically when you walk into most businesses, how many front doors do they have? Do they have a single door or a double door? Most businesses.
Usually they have a double door.
Yeah, double door. And then what's always going on with the door on the right or left?
It always says, please use other door.
Yeah, here's what I'm going to tell you, people. Fix the door if it's broken. Number 2, that is the first impression of your business. Like, are there other areas of your business where you're telling people use the other whatever it is? Don't have that as the first impression of your business. Number 2, when I go to restaurants or any place that's serving food where cleanliness, medical clinics, brain surgery stores, you know, anybody pop into a brain surgery store, I want that front door to be clean. Mm-hmm. And if it's not clean, what am I thinking?
What else isn't clean?
What else is not clean? Countertops, cooking utensils, the hands of the employees. And are they really reading that sign in the bathroom that all employees must wash their hands before going back to work?
I'm sure they're reading it, but are they doing it?
I will tell you, this is a gross thing. I don't know what it is for women because I haven't been in the only women's bathroom, but I see men going into the restroom and leaving without washing their hands. Mm. And it say about 20 to 30% of men do not wash their hands after they go to their bathroom. Gross. Gross. So here's the deal. So we can complain about these things. You know what to do. Clean your front windows. Get both doors working. This is the new year. Get your business open. If I see one door not working, I'm like, okay, that's 50% of your front door doesn't work. What other half of your business is not working? And so we have solutions. And that is the most important asset of your company. The person that goes to clean the window is who? What is that person?
I don't know, the cleaner?
Well, the asset, you have it's employees.
The employees.
The employees, right?
Or it could be even the owner, because I've seen you cleaning our front door.
Yeah, whoever is that person is, the persons in your business are the most important asset of your business. And I want to talk to you about a training that we're offering up for free. Mm-hmm. And talking about someone that has a bunch of people, the most important asset in their company. He gets them to stick around. They're around for a long time. They have a high level of experience and treat the most important and the most expensive investment that you have with the utmost care. Who's that, Adrienne?
That would be Duke Kimhan of Hawaii Pacific Property Management.
Yeah. Duke, are you there?
I am. Yeah,
right.
I clean the front door all the time.
I've been to the office. I've never seen a dirty door.
Rubbish. Yeah, well, it's part of, being in business.
Yeah, exactly.
So today I'm going to talk about something that is the beginning of the relationship.
Yeah.
How do you choose a property manager or even a realtor in general? I mean, there's 7,000 active realtors just in the Honolulu area.
Yeah.
You can choose anyone. So, if I was looking for a property manager or a realtor, I would first go to the internet. I would see what I was looking for. But there's so many things that you have to take into consideration. And I go to owners' houses and I always say, how did you find us?
Yeah.
Right? First question. I always say, how many property managers are you interviewing? And I will tell you that 90% of everybody I ask that question to say, oh, only you.
Yeah.
That's
true for realtors, too.
Interviewing me. Why?
Why is that?
Loan officers, same stat.
I know. They're interviewing somebody to take care of their $1 million home.
Yeah. At minimum.
It's just, if I had $1 million in cash on the table and I wanted to invest it with somebody, I would interview. I would do homework. And so, there's so many things. Yeah. First thing is cost, right? Cost of your services, reputation. How long have you been in business? What do you believe is your, how did you get here to do property management? Credentials. What training did you get to do property management?
Yeah.
What is your past experience? What is the benefit for me choosing you over the other property managers, right? Can I see a copy of your contract? And how will you maintain my house? These are 7, 8 questions that you need to ask.
I hope they were writing them down.
Now, Duke, I want to compliment you on how you guys show up online.
Yeah.
So I just as a consumer, I would say they probably come across your Google page or your website
and the videos
and the videos, and they're just blown away. Yeah. And nobody else even comes a close second. That's why they're not interviewing anyone else.
For you guys.
And it's a form of giving, right? We're giving information because we want people to know that we have the credentials to take care of their house. We will maintain your house. We will take care of it. And our costs are competitive. We have a good reputation. We have over, 500 Yelp and Google reviews. We've been in business for 16 years now this year.
Yeah.
And some of the benefits, we give you a copy of our contract up front. We're not trying to hide anything.
Yeah.
This is what we do. This is all we do. And then we want to take care of your house.
Yeah.
But we want to build trust. We want to build a relationship.
Yeah.
So if you're out there searching for a realtor or a property manager, please do some homework because the cream of the crop will stand out. It'll be more apparent to you that you made the right choice. And that is super important when you sleep at night and you're not even in the country.
Yeah.
You're not even in the United States. Half of my clients are overseas, right? On the mainland, or they're in out of the country.
Yeah. So those questions again, check for your guys' credentials. Take a look at your guys' reviews. That's a reflection of your reputation. And then ask
experience.
for experience. How long you guys been in the business?
The contract.
Yep. And take a look at that. And the contract you're talking about is not the lease agreement with the tenant. You're talking about your contract with the property owner.
Yes.
With the owner. Correct.
Yeah. That's different. That's
so important.
Yeah. And Duke, I always like these because repetition lends emphasis. Tell us again your top 3 guarantees.
So we're the only company that guarantees something in the property management side. The first one is communication. It's the most important. It's the reason why we get the most amount of referrals from other property managers.
Yes.
Because they didn't do very well in the communication side. The second one is the eviction guarantee. It's probably the most important one. It says that if we put a tenant in your unit and we have to evict them, that we'll pay the legal costs to get them out. And the last one is the rent guarantee, where we tell you what the lowest amount of rent up front is that we could get for your house.
Yeah.
If we can't even get that after 30 days of marketing it, then we'll pay you that amount of money.
Wow.
And then you guys guarantee to not yell at the owners and make them cry.
There's 1,000 things in property management that the owner can cry over, believe me. And the last thing you want to do is cry over your property manager.
Yeah, I was talking with one property owner the other day that didn't have their property managed by you, and they were crying. Mm-hmm. They're like, I should have gone with Duke.
By the time you change property managers, you're going to be losing at least $5,000.
Yeah. So do it right from the beginning.
Save the money in advance. Call Duke and his team.
Correct.
Here's your new tagline. Do it right with Duke.
That's right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you, Duke.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, Duke Kimhan of Hawaii Pacific Property Management. He's under the Experts We Trust page on teamlally.com, so you can find him there.
Hey,
Yep.
If you got a question for the show, 799-9596, maybe inhibited, you want to talk to us, email info@teamlally.com. We'd be happy to answer any of the questions that you have that you want to call in or send in, and we'll answer them for you on air after we've done careful research. And if we do give you an answer that we're completely making up, we'll do a disclaimer in the beginning before the answer that we just made up the. No. We always give answers that we vet out, and
that's what our clients appreciate about us.
We're not making it up.
That's right.
All right, talking about somebody that is going to talk about one of the, I wouldn't say it's like a cost, but I would say it's an investment regarding your real estate, your home.
To protect it.
So he's another night of I call it the night of the round table called Protecting Your Real Estate. Duke was about your investment properties, and Bradley is going to talk about protecting what, or how does he help you protect your properties and the one you live in and you invest in? Through what?
Insurance.
Through insurance.
Home insurance.
All right. Bradley, what you got for us?
Hey, what's up? Okay, so what I actually spoke with Adrian this morning.
Yes.
And, it was eye-opening. She was like, oh, my God, Brad, what's going on with my insurance payments? And, you got to fix this ASAP. And I was like, oh, no, I can't make Adrian upset. So we both tackled this issue. And upon doing it, we did see that there were some things that were done, wasn't supposed to have been done. We fixed it. But in context, we were talking about how there's some hurricane carriers that are taking up to 100% rate increases on their hurricane insurance.
Yes.
That company is Zephyr Insurance. And, as an agent, I'm being proactive. I'm reaching out to my insureds, and we're trying to let them know that, before it hits your escrow account and you see this increased mortgage payments, I want to make sure I reach out to them, because single wall homes are going up to about 100% rate increases. Some of the masonry and preferred homes that were built after 1993 are only seeing 40-50% rates.
Yeah.
Still a lot. So, like we always say in every radio show, it's very important to do a checkup with your insurance agent or myself, And the reason why I'm saying that is that we've been coming across a lot of other carriers that are still insuring for only $220, $230 a foot.
Yeah.
Where we're starting to see that on Oahu, not the outer islands, they should be insured for $300 to $350 a foot. So very important to get insurance review with myself or with your current carrier.
Yeah.
Because we do see a lot of underinsured homes out there.
Yeah, what underinsured homes, and then again talking about the insurance expense. Have they sent you any memos on why they're doing the increase, or are these insurance carriers having a secret meeting underneath an extinct volcano? And while they're contemplating overtaking the world, they're like, let's start raising all the rates. What was the reasoning behind raising the rates recently, or do you know?
Yeah, so I did talk to my personal underwriter.
Yeah.
That it's a combination of two things. Insurance companies have insurance companies that insure them, called reinsurance.
Yeah.
And those reinsurance rates have skyrocketed. So basically what they're doing is they're passing on these rate increases to the end user.
Gotcha.
The second factor is inflation. So I've noticed that there was an inflation rider premium that has increased quite a bit.
Okay.
So they want to make sure that they can keep up with the cost of construction.
Yes.
And that rider has increased as well. I think it's about 10% on top of the reinsurance.
Yeah.
So that was their reasoning behind this massive rate increase.
Yeah.
So Bradley, we're going to start seeing them like come April, right? And you're doing your best to be proactive with anyone that has a Zephyr policy.
Well, the quote is from Mike Tyson. He always said his opponents always had a plan until they got a punch in the face. So
that punch in the face is this insurance coming up in April. If you have a Zephyr policy.
He's like, Mike Tyson, how was it when you went up against Holyfield? Well, everybody has a plan until they get a punch in the face. That's exactly what he said. That was Mike Tyson. So Adrian got her mortgage statement, and you went from like $5,200 to like $5,900.
Yeah, almost $6,000.
Almost $6,000, and so that was like a little Mike Tyson punch in the face this morning. So people can understand it. Bradley, we find that most clients are not paying. Even if they got the house paid off, obviously they have no mortgage. But we're finding that most people with a mortgage are making escrow payments every month to an account that the mortgage company is going to make a payment to your property tax and insurance
on your behalf.
Do you find anybody paying it directly that has a mortgage, or mostly everybody is paying the escrow account?
That's a really, really good question. So there are some people that are very, very meticulous and detail-oriented, and they said, why am I going to pay interest for my insurance? So some people do pay it directly.
Yeah. And I would say most people don't, because that takes some financial discipline and wherewithal. And so what happens?
So with my situation, though, it was the lender made a mistake and didn't clearly understand that I had hurricane insurance. And for whatever reason, they didn't realize that hurricane insurance includes wind. Okay. And so they had added some extra insurance.
So it was
for whatever reason.
It was lender-placed insurance?
Correct.
Yeah, and I looked at the shortfall on Adrian's statement, so we can put this in plain English for the people that are listening, is you go down there, and in your escrow statement for your property, you're going to see payments made in, and then you're going to see payments going out, and it should say either hazard insurance, or it'll just say insurance without the word hazard on it. That's your basic homeowner's insurance. And then property tax. And then if you owe your ex, no, that's not going to be on there in that account. But that's what you're going to look at. And when I looked at Adrian's statement, it was like a $1,600 shortfall on her hazard insurance. And then what happened was the mortgage company recalculated and said, we need to take more from you every month. So a lot of times you guys are going to be flipping out and think that your mortgage went up. It's your escrow payments that are a part of your mortgage that went up.
And then Bradley, he went right to work.
Yeah.
It was a moment of truth.
It was the moment of truth.
He was on the line with me and the mortgage company, and we got it all worked out.
Yeah.
So thank you, Bradley.
Thank you, Bradley.
For your support.
Okay. All righty, everybody. Thanks, Bradley. How can we get a hold of Bradley?
Thank you. Have a good week.
You too, Bradley. How can we get a hold of Bradley, Adrian?
So again, he is on the Experts We Trust page.
Yeah.
And he's got lots of videos and information. He's really easy to get a hold of.
Yeah.
Just have him review your policy. And if you do know you have a Zephyr placed insurance, you probably want to give him a call and look for some alternatives, because it will be going up.
Yeah, Zephyr. That was like I think it's the German name for like one of those helium filled balloons that blows up, and it's going to blow up your mortgage payments, but or on that statement anyway. So everything's going up. It's good to get ahead of it so that you can. Here's the reason why we wanted to bring it to people's attention. We have reserves, things like that. Not a big deal. But some people, it's like, I forgot what was
you're on a fixed income.
The comedian said, this is how it works with your income. Comes into your checking account. And then here's all your bills. And if there's not enough in there, Then NSF fees, boom. And it's like a domino effect. And next thing you know, one time I wasn't even tracking it. I was on vacation. I had like 5 NSF fees and I had plenty of money in other accounts.
Pay attention, Attilio.
Those stinky bank NSF fees. I will tell you that they make a lot of money off of that. So watch those, and they won't attach other accounts to it because they want
those fees.
They want to set you up for failure. They make a lot of money with the ATM fees and the NSF fees. So anyway, we're giving you the heads up. All you got to do is give us a call. We'll put you in touch with the right persons to get ahead of that.
That's right.
Next, talking about these
bugs.
These bugs. You know, that really bugged Adrian this morning.
It did.
Other bugs that might be bugging you is actual bugs, birds, rats, rodents,
termites,
teenagers. Taylor is from Kilauea Pest Control, and he's going to talk about how to get rid of those terrible teenagers.
No, that's not true.
They are a form of a pest, though.
But he doesn't deal in teenagers.
You don't deal in teenagers. I think talk to John Speed. Tell him you need to add how to fumigate disrespectful, ungrateful teenagers. I think you guys would be booked up solid.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's cracked that code yet, including myself. But John might, hit up John. He might have a good idea for you. He's a good family man for sure.
Yeah. So what you got for us, Taylor?
Yeah, I thought I'd jump. We haven't talked a little bit, so I thought I would review quickly about rodents today. We've been getting a lot of calls. They're always around, but we've been getting a lot more recently, I think because of the rain and certain conditions, about rodents and doing a lot of rodent exclusion, so preventing rodents from getting in your house. That includes, like, putting vent covers and things like that and finding avenues of entry that they're getting in and sealing that off, and when people can do that themselves, but people also hire us out to do that kind of stuff. And so just an overview of some rodent tips and things to know being in Hawaii is you first want to identify what kind of rat you have, right? So there's kind of 3 main rats here. There's the Norway rat, the roof rat, and the Polynesian rat. Now, the Polynesian rat...
Now, hold on, though. The Polynesian rat, they got like native tattoos. They got puka t-shirt, and they get the long slippers that's almost worn out. That's how you can tell the Polynesian rat. But keep going.
Exactly. Yeah, they thrive in families with these too. Now, the Polynesian rats, they usually aren't hanging out in homes. They're not necessarily as structural in residential houses. So it's usually the Norway rat or the roof rat, and I would say even more often the roof rat that people are seeing.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that jump. They can jump 6 feet. They climb on telephone wires and coconut trees. Those are the ones you see up high. They're not scared of heights. They thrive up there. They're hanging out in the attic. Norway rats are more, they're kind of towards the ground more usually.
Yeah.
Now, knowing what kind of rat you have will help you identify where you should look, how to get rid of them and prevent them, right? And then a couple other things is, rats have pretty poor eyesight, so they rely on their sense of smell, and they have like hairs that sense things that help them navigate. And so it's a good thing to consider when you're setting traps and trying to figure out how they're getting in and where what's attracting them to, right? So, they're smelling things that's attracting them.
Yeah.
They're looking for water too. So they're looking for, the AC drips, the dripping AC that's collecting water at the base of your house, and then they run up that pipe that goes, and there's a little crack around it, and they can squeeze through and get inside your wall boys, and then it's game over, right? Once they're in, they're hanging out, they're happy. So I think just kind of being aware of the different type of rats and kind of what is motivating them will help you identify what's going on and then what to do about it, right? So yeah.
So Norwegian, roof rat, and Polynesian rat. By the way, you know how you get you can tell you have I know they don't go up there, but this is a sure tip. If you have Polynesian rats crawling around in your attic, in the middle of the night, you're going to hear, "Chee-hoo!"
That's a good one. I need to use that one.
Yeah, and because they're like, "Yay, we're in the house, free rent." They're like your kids that drop out of college and living on the couch. You got to get them out.
I have a rat story with Kilauea Pest.
Yeah.
Remember we had that house, in Makakilo.
Yeah.
And there was rats, and then they set all these traps, and then we just let it be.
Yeah.
And then they were very successful, except for we came in on a Sunday.
Yeah, to do open house, and so
those rats everywhere.
I was just going to tell you the 2 most important tools available at that time was tongs and 1 garbage bag.
Yeah, it was.
I remember.
It was picking them up. It was like Norwegian one, Polynesian one. Oh, wait, 2 roof ones.
We didn't realize
so
how many
what we learned
rats.
from that, right, is if you have a showing and you're doing pest control or rodent control, maybe we try and get ahead of it a little bit so that way all the dead bugs or rats aren't there for when you wake up for the showing the next day.
Yeah, that was pretty.
My agent called me like, you got a bunch of dead rats over here about to do the open house. And I said, pick them up. And then I hung up.
He was not happy.
Yeah. It's okay. It was a learning opportunity.
So thank you for getting rid of all those rats for us.
Yeah.
Happy to do it.
The other thing too, Taylor, Adrian was doing some of this today, but having trees all around your house and close to your house, right?
They'll jump from the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big one, not just for rats, for any kind of pest, right? So anytime you have tree branches touching your roof line, ants will use that as a way to get into your house, but rats, it's not even just touching, but within a few feet, right? Because like the roof rat, they can jump 6 feet standing, right? So they can, even if it's within 6 feet, they can technically make it. So trimming trees and not just up above but down low too, they're hanging out like underneath, if there's a lot of roots or bushes and stuff like that, just be aware of that and clean it out, and it'll help for sure. And it'll help you see it if something's going on too, rather than they can hide, right? So, yeah. And here's another weird little tip that I feel like this is a secret maybe I shouldn't put out there, but there's a lot of different baits you can use for rat traps. Yeah. One that we like to use because it's so stink, right, is dried squid, cuttlefish. So there's anyone out there trying to set their own rat trap, hasn't called us yet, they're going to try it themselves. Hey, give cuttlefish, dried squid a try and see if that will
and
help. There's other things you can
if it's a Polynesian rat, maybe add some poi.
I thought you said spam.
Yeah.
They like the spam.
Spam musubi?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you so much for that tip.
Taylor.
But I'm going to tell you right now, we give out plenty of advice. Nobody wants to do it themselves. They want to bring in people.
It's so gross. Who wants
so
to
you're
deal
going to have
with
like rotten
rats?
squid plus one dead rat.
No, thank you.
Yeah. They're going to call Taylor.
Thank you, Taylor.
All righty.
All right. Thank you. All right. So that was Kilauea Pest Control. Again, you can get a hold of them on our Experts We Trust page on our website.
Yep. Or just give us a call, 799-9596. Our next expert, she's going to help you, give you some wisdom regarding what's going on with mortgages and loans and all of that good stuff. I would say that 5 to 10 times a day, something's on the media regarding that. Mm-hmm. And this person's going to help you navigate everything you're seeing there. Who is that, Adrian?
That would be Jodie Tanga, the mortgage genius.
Jodie, what you got for us?
Hi. Okay, we have some interesting updates after all of the snazzy media and news reports saying that the Fed is going to decrease rates 5 times this year, and starting this March. Basically, the Fed has spoken. They didn't even have like an official statement. It was like an interview that one of the Fed chairmen spoke on, and he said, I just want to remind everyone that we are going to be extremely cautious before decreasing the overnight rate for the first time. Yeah. And so basically everyone thought that this March that the Fed was going to drop the rate, and now it's not going to, now everyone is saying it's not going to happen. Yeah. So that doesn't mean that the Fed is not still going to decrease the overnight rate 5 times this year, but now everyone's pushing it back a little bit further, and the markets have reacted. So mortgage interest rates did get a little bit higher the past, I would say, 72 hours. Something to keep in mind, however, is that they're still really good. So like the VA rate is hovering around 5.75. Conventional rates are hovering around a 6.5. So these are very good rates. These are interest rates that are workable. And we've already felt the market react.
Yes.
I did a strength of buyer call today for one of our offers, and they said, just to be honest with you, we did get 5 offers. So we're going through the offers now, and we're good. And then she was like, then I want to call you back and kind of talk to you about the buyer. So we're feeling it. We are feeling it.
Yeah. as the interest rate's low, you have more and more people, more competition as a buyer. So be careful what you wish for.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
the other thing, I had a really lengthy conversation with he's actually a repeat customer, repeat client. We bought with him the middle of last year, and, he was in escrow on a second property, and then that fell out due to home inspection reasons, and then he was getting ready to, he did submit an offer on another property yesterday, but he called me all kind of fired up, and he was like, oh, so you mean to tell me that the interest rate is the same as the last time that we were in escrow? He was like, that doesn't make sense, because I saw on Google it said that rates went down, and I'm like, and he goes,
well, everything on Google is true.
I know. So I really went into depth with him about, like, listen, I'm not saying that the rates were flat this whole entire time between the last 6 weeks. What I am saying, though, is that they've gone down and then they've worsened, and then they've gone down and then they've worsened. So I'm giving you the most transparent prevailing market interest rate. Like, that's what I'm sending you, and he was like, oh, so it's not that it just all stayed the same this entire time. And he was like, how is someone like me supposed to be able to understand or track it? And I'm like, you can't. Like, you need to have a trusted lender that is being transparent with you and is working hard to get you the best rate possible, because you and nobody really other than lenders have access to these types of interest rates.
Yeah, and I look at it this way. I'll put an analogy everybody can relate to. When you call your dentist is when you have a cavity, but when you don't have cavities, are you calling your dentist once a month? Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on with the dental technology? Can you give me an update? Why? Because I have nothing better to do. I'm lonely. I need to talk to my dentist once a month. So forget about the interest rates unless you're actively buying.
That's Jodie's job.
That's Jodie's job to come in and
she's the expert. She's the pro. She's the mortgage genius.
Jodie, here's what I'll share with you. I looked it up. In 1965, the median sale price of a home in the United States was, Adrian, do you remember?
$50,000.
Close, $20,000.
Oh, geez.
$20,000. Fast forward today, the median sale price of a home is $450,000. Do you think there was some kind of trend there? Yeah. But the interest rates have gone up and down and all over the place. Mm-hmm. But what I saw if you were to graph the interest rates alongside the median sale price of a home, you saw the interest rates go up, but then sales kind of flattened. They didn't necessarily go down. The value of the homes flattened, but they didn't go down when interest rates went through the roof. They just flattened. Mm-hmm. And when interest rates go down, the cost of the home goes up. Has that been your experience, Jodie?
That has been my experience.
That's been our experience.
And you're the mortgage genius. So it's got to be true.
Thank you, Jodie, for your mortgage tip of the week.
Thank you, Jodie.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. So don't flip out with what you guys see on the internet. I have a quote for you guys. Get your head out of your apps.
All right. So we have a very special in-studio guest today.
Yeah, we're not going to take a break. We're so excited to bring him on that we're not taking a break. We're going to get right to it. And who is that again?
Okay. So our guest, Cincinnati native, he spent 26 years in the U.S. Air Force before transitioning into financial planning in 2003.
Yeah.
Now, as the founder and CEO of Vadis Financial, he brings his coaching and mentoring approach to his role as a dedicated financial advisor. Welcome back, Andy Pike.
Andy Pike.
Thanks for having me. So before we get started with any questions or any of that stuff, Attilio, I think you do have a second job lined up, and that's the comedic part of all this.
I can only be a comedian. I'm like a TikTok comedian. I can only be funny for 30 seconds at a time.
Yep. But if this real estate gig doesn't work, I think you got a future.
I think
he has done some open mic nights.
I have.
Has he really?
Mm-hmm.
I did like 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
But here's awesome. For me, open mic night is every Saturday on AM 830 KHVH to the Team Lally Real Estate Radio Show.
And we get mixed reviews.
Because you have a captive audience, right? She can't stop you from doing it.
Exactly. Well,
Some people like the jokes, and some people do not. They were like, "Oh, he should have ran that one by you before he said that."
Well, then those people that, and I'll tell you, I take all you guys' feedback very seriously. In fact, if you give me feedback that the jokes are terrible, I will actually dedicate the next terrible joke to you on the next show.
I remember Pastor Wayne at New Hope used to tell jokes, and if somebody didn't like it, he would say, "Hey, you want better jokes? Send me better jokes."
There you go.
Yeah.
But
send him some material, people.
Well, my testimonial for Andy is that I refer him to my family. I'm a client. Is that what we are? A client? So I'm like, I don't know. I think of Andy as my friend.
Yep.
But he's my financial advisor that knows way more than I do. Here's an interesting statistic. You think that the education is the gap for people making financial decisions? They did a study of people who went through financial education, and it changed their behavior by 0.0001%. What was the gap? This financial psychologist who were researching and found it was the behavior. What I like about Andy is that he's a person that you can talk to help you with that behavior and provide you guidance.
And accountability.
Yeah,
he's quite the accountability coach when it comes to finances.
And that's someone we can trust, because we wouldn't be referring him to our clients if we didn't
and our family too.
And our family. Yeah. So, anywho, Andy, talk about what did you do before becoming into the financial industry, and then why did you make that change to do what you do today?
So I was in the Air Force for 26 years.
Thank you for your service.
As an enlisted guy, and I was an I was an office worker kind of guy. And so did that for 26 years.
Yeah.
And when it was time to go, I had been a client of another financial services company that focuses only on military.
Yes.
And so they recruited me, basically. I chose it because I felt like it was just an extension of taking care of troops.
Yeah.
The more senior I got, the less technical work I did more of the personnel kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so leading troops and watching out for their careers and things like that. And so then that just transitioned and right over to doing what I'm doing now. I think it's a bigger impact here because now I'm doing everything with their money.
Gotcha.
And now Andy, you opened up this Vadis Financial. What's the story behind, the name and just like the origin story of Vadis?
Well, Vadis translates into busier than a one-legged man in a butt-kicking contest. No, that's not the translation. What is it?
It's pretty close. No, Vadis comes from, it's Latin. It comes from the Bible. And it's basically a question that the Apostle John asked Jesus. He said, "Where are you going?"
Yeah.
And Jesus was on his way to Jerusalem, and his answer was, "Where I'm going, you can't go yet." But it speaks to the journey that is financial planning. It's not transactional.
Yeah.
When clients hire me, it's for my life because I'm older than a lot of my clients now, including you two.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's more of a relationship than the money. The money takes care of itself once we start working together, but it's the relationship. And that's where you talk about things like behavior and things like that. Because when I yell at a friend, not really, but when I talk to a client and say, "Look, you can't afford this $85,000 car on your $40,000 salary," they're going to understand that I'm coming from a position of love more than the math.
And I think that's important because I think a lot of times people need more of a whack in the head to stop doing something than to get their butts in gear to do stuff, because it's like, you're helping these people, because I think that's the challenge that people have. They're just in this hole financially.
Yep. Well, you nailed it. Behavior is all of it. So you guys are aware I'm a Dave Ramsey SmartVestor Pro.
Yeah.
And Dave says, and a lot of financial advisors say pretty much the same thing, 80% of your financial success has nothing to do with your money.
Yeah.
It's what's between your ears.
And you're thinking, your behavior. Talk about Dave Ramsey. Who's Dave Ramsey for people who don't know?
So Dave Ramsey's a guy that you guys know about because he at 18, he became a realtor. By 26 or so, he had $4 million worth of real estate.
Yeah.
Making payments on everything, he was fine. But then we had the savings and loan crisis. The banks got nervous and said, "This is a 28-year-old kid," basically. That makes us too nervous, and they call all his notes, and so he went bankrupt.
Nice.
And then he set about starting this Ramsey. It was called Dave Ramsey. Now it's called Ramsey Solutions.
Yes.
But he started that just to help people get out of debt.
Yeah.
And a lot of what we've already talked about, like the insurance stuff with Bradley.
Yeah.
About, is it Bradley that did the insurance?
Bradley Maruyama.
So that stuff I recommend, and Dave does too. People get all their insurances, their car insurance, homeowners insurance, all that stuff. Get that checked every couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah, I like his. We had a case of his books in the office. I think we still got some when we hand them out. But the Total Money Makeover.
Yep.
Yes, I actually got. I handed my copy of that book over to my daughter.
Yes.
Because now she's working, and she wants to be smart with her money.
Yeah.
Tell her you know a guy.
Yeah.
I've already done the introduction.
Yeah.
She's ready. She's ready for you, Andy.
Because you know what these kids nowadays do investing in? Stanley Cups. And that makes absolutely no sense.
It's crazy. Now, I will confess that I have one. I think that's one over there.
Yeah.
This one, Nadia bought it for me.
Her daughter.
There you go, see?
She's investing in mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's funny because you talk about that. The SEC just approved some Bitcoin ETFs.
Yeah.
And within a couple of hours of that actually hitting the news, I got a call from a client. Should I get a Bitcoin ETF? It's like, explain Bitcoin to me. And they couldn't.
And
I was
ETF,
like, yeah, no.
and I'm like, I don't know what it is, but should I get it?
Yep.
No.
Yep. So it is. It's really mostly about your behavior.
I think, too, that Gary Keller, we're in Gary Keller. He's the CEO of Geller Williams, and we're in his top 100
his top team.
Top agent mastermind, and he gave us a book called Psychology of Money. And it was interesting in there that most people make 80% of their financial decision based on 1% of the knowledge that they need to have to make that decision. And a lot of that behavior is dictated by what their parents did.
Yep. I've read that book. That's a really good book.
Yeah. So let's talk about, it's the new year.
Mm-hmm.
We're still in the beginning of the new year. What would be something that you would say, like, and we'll steal some Dave Ramsey lingo. I mean, he talks about it in the book. What baby step would you recommend to somebody begin doing at the beginning of this year for a financial decision?
I think it depends on where they are. If you don't have $1,000 in a savings account, then you're on baby step 1.
Yep.
And you need to get $1,000 in a savings account that you don't touch, only for emergencies like your hair's on fire.
Yeah. What is the purpose of doing that?
Well, it's partly, Dave calls it insurance against debt.
Yeah.
But that first $1,000 is really your starter emergency fund, and it's meant to cover things like, a tire blows up on the highway, or you're in an accident and you got to pay your car deductible.
Yeah.
A lot of people give Dave grief because they say, on what planet is $1,000 enough for emergencies? And if you talk to Dave for 12 seconds, it's not. That's baby step 3.
Yeah.
We fill up the emergency fund, but while you're working on getting out of debt, $1,000, and then everything else goes on getting out of all that consumer debt.
Well, if he told you 10,000, that would be more like a baby jumping off of the Grand Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
And
it would be overwhelming.
It would be overwhelming, and
Yeah.
and you're not going to start.
Like, even my daughter was able to save $1,000, a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
Dave even tells people
yeah.
to start selling stuff until your kids think they're next.
Yeah.
And that might work for you because with the teenagers and stuff, you might want to sell. I don't know if anybody'd pay you for them, though.
Yeah, no, I was thinking
that's a solution.
Yeah. But, so we got the baby step of $1,000. Like, I will tell you that all 3 of my kids, none of them carry any personal debt. Because I think, talk about this as your thoughts on this trap. I hear people who don't do the $1,000. They say, "Oh, I have this credit card for emergencies."
That's very common.
Yeah. What's the trap of that? I have this credit card for emergencies.
If you want the snarky Andy answer,
give them both.
Give it
kind of as a question. I always repeat it as a question back to my client, and so I would say something like, "Well, Attilio, it's cool that you got the credit card and all that stuff, but if you think about it, you don't have $1,000, and you got to go pay $1,200 for something on your car.
Yeah.
Now you've over doubled your debt because you haven't planned. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And then they're like, "Well, no." It's like, that's why.
There was an SNL episode that they're like, hey, it was like an infomercial, and then they were talking about it at home, and they had a pamphlet, and the guy's reading the pamphlet, and he's like, I think it was either the wife or the husband was talking to the husband talking to the wife. Hey, Margaret, check out this pamphlet. There's this website and this program, and it's completely insane and crazy. They want you to save for something that you can afford and then buy it. What are your thoughts? That seems crazy. Saving for something and then buying cash for it.
Yeah. And the next step right after the $1,000 is get rid of all your consumer debt, everything but your mortgage.
Yeah.
And treat it like the plague.
People hear good debt, bad debt.
No such thing.
Yeah. Talk about what your advice to people regarding debt.
So debt just means you're not planning your spending. It speaks to a lot of different things, both psychological and obviously financial. People don't want to wait to have things. In your
delayed gratification,
instant gratification. And I also find that people that save for something and then go get that thing because they save for it, they value it much higher.
Yes.
Your brain, if you use cash, your brain actually forms a pain point when you're paying for something. If you swipe a debit card or a credit card, it's been physiologically proven that pain point doesn't exist. So even if you're using a debit card, you're not increasing your debt, but that pain point is not there, because when we think about trade, I'm going to give you my Mountain Dew and you're going to give me those headphones. That would create a pain point because I'm giving up something, you're giving up something. But if I give you a debit card and I swipe a debit card and I get your headphones, there's no pain point for me because I haven't really given anything up in my mind.
Amazon has a new program. Like you go on the Amazon Prime and then you pull up the product and you're like, I wonder if I should get this. And then you cough. You bought it.
They have that swipe right thing where you can just automatically buy it.
I'm just kidding. You're not going to cough and then, it's being shipped. But it's almost just that as easy.
Pretty much.
This TED Talk financial planner lady I was talking to, she said, it's so, like you said, you have a disconnect between the value of the money that you spent on that, because these companies, Amazon's the top of it.
They're using that psychology.
They are specifically designed to have techniques to part you with your money as quickly as possible. And just go look at a garage sale. Sometimes I go to these garage sales and the stuff is still in the Amazon box.
I've actually, when I'm analyzing like a client's cash flow and things like that, and I point out like, this is how much over this three month period from your bank statements, this is how much you ate out. This is your Amazon or whatever your online shopping is. They're always shocked at those two numbers. It's like, that can't be right. I'm going, it's right there on your bank statement.
If I was a financial planner, I mean, he's not going to do this, but maybe he might. I would go to the blue bin on the side of the house and count how many
that's a great idea.
Prime Amazon boxes are in that recycle bin.
Don't go to mine this week. They're coming Tuesday, though.
And then bring them out and be like, see, here's the problem. We got to start here. So baby step of $1,000. That's a good one.
Get rid of that consumer debt.
Consumer debt, and talk about consumer debt. Like, what define
that?
So
consumer debt is everything other than a mortgage. So I just talked to a client this morning, or a potential client, and he said, well, I only have mortgage debt. I said, okay, that's great. And then he said something about a HELOC, and I said, oh, so you don't have just mortgage debt. You actually have consumer debt. Because a HELOC is technically a bank loan. It's not. Yes, it's the collateral's the house, but it's not the same as a mortgage because the interest rates are different and all that stuff.
Just imagine the bank came to your house, they went in the garage, and they would put an ATM machine.
That's
what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Yep.
Just go run to the
garage. And again, Dave did a study of like over 10,000 millionaires. He talks about this fairly frequently. And he said not one of the people that he interviewed or that his company researched said that they leveraged debt to become a millionaire. Not one.
They
equity in their house, he counted.
And
then all their investment. 401k and that kind of stuff.
One of the business. Go ahead, Adrian.
I was going to say, like with the investments, because let's get over to the services and the type of assistance that you offer clients to help them build wealth. Let's talk about like the compounding effects of investing.
So I showed a client a long while ago an illustration that showed if they put $500 a month in an IRA for 40 years. And that's all they ever did. They never increased it or anything else with the previous returns of that portfolio. Obviously, it means nothing going forward because we don't know what's going to happen in the future.
Past results are no indication of future results.
We used to be able to do these things called hypotheticals.
Yeah.
So I could go and say, Attilio, if you started putting $500 a month in this thing 30 years ago, this is what it would have grown to today. The SEC has now said we can't do that.
Yeah.
They put some real long clamps on that, real tight clamps on that. But, you know, those kinds of things, compound interest, Dave even says, you know, I showed a client exactly that once when it was legal, and it was basically they would invest like $260,000 over their lifetime,
You know what?
But the accounts would be worth $4 or $5 million.
I'm not the financial advisor, but I'll tell you right now, if you just literally type that into Google
it'll come out.
Hit enter, it'll calculate it for you.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you, I think Dave had done a little Instagram clip about that very example, and I forwarded it to my daughter.
Yep.
And I said, you could retire by the time you're 40 if you just do this little trick.
Yep.
And so she's like, oh, yeah, let's get this set up right away.
But guess what keeps you from all that?
What?
Consumer debt.
Consumer debt.
Because consumer debt, you have a legal obligation to pay that debt no matter what your situation is.
Correct.
Yeah.
Period.
So stay out of debt and do your monthly investing so you can retire.
A little bit at a time over a long period of time. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, retire comfortably.
And you know what? Student loans are killing these kids nowadays. So I made it a point as a parent that my 2 oldest who graduated from college are starting at ground level. I bought them used cars. And they had no student loans, so they started at ground zero. Parents, if you can figure that out, do that if you can.
Well, I think Andy knows a little trick about college savings.
Yeah.
Well, there are investment accounts for that, but there are a lot of things. The biggest topic that I talk to people about is their children don't know what they want.
Yeah.
For a college degree. And so then I tell the parents, okay, so if they don't really know what they want and they're already a junior in high school.
Yeah.
Either community college, go in the military where they're going to pay for a 4-year education.
Or get a vocational skill.
Get a vocational skill.
Yep.
Because there's nothing wrong with any of that.
60 Minutes did an interview with a kid that went into school and became a mechanic. Yep. And then they graduated from college, $100,000 in debt. The one on the left was making $75,000, $80,000 a year, $10,000 in the bank, and owned a home.
Yep.
Well, Andy helped me get started these 529 plans for all of my children. Yep. And I know, like, all of my kids are going to have different paths. So, like, the great thing is that it's not just for college. It can be used for the vocational schools.
Yep.
It can be used, for private schools and all sorts of stuff. But it's been great because I just, every month, I just put in a couple $100.
Set it and forget it.
And it grows.
Yeah.
It grows tax-free as long as it gets used for the educational expense.
I learned from my mistake. I didn't do it for the first 2, but I'm doing it for the youngest. Mm-hmm. So my 529 plan for the other 2 was Dad write a check every month plan.
Don't do that.
The one thing I will say, the one thing I think you did wrong is with the cars, buying your kids cars.
Yeah.
We did what Dave calls 401 Dave.
401 Dave.
I told Amelia, whatever you save, I'll match for a car.
There you go. Matching.
Yep.
Matching.
Yep.
Matching.
That doesn't mean don't match the debt. Match the savings.
Right. And stay out of it. Cut up the credit cards. I know we just did an FPU, Financial Peace University, at New Hope last year. We just started a second one last week. We had one couple cut up 22 credit cards.
Ooh.
Nice.
22.
Were they shaking? Were they in cold sweats at the end?
No. He was.
Now, Andy, we are about to end the show.
Okay.
How can our listeners get a hold of you?
They can call me at 808-757-7769. Or they can email me or go to my website, quovadisfinancial.com.
No, don't worry about it if you missed it because we're going to have Andy on the show again, and he's on our website.
That's right.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for listening, and thank you to our sponsors.
Jodie and Derek of Pacific Rim Mortgage.
Bradley of Allstate Insurance.
Kenji with Pillar to Post Home Inspections.
John with Kilauea Pest Control.
Duke with the Hawaii Pacific Property Management.
Robinson of Fine Line Paintworks.
Jake with Skyta Construction, Roofing, and Solar.
Scott of Zero Res Hawaii.
Amphi with Estate Planning Group.
Jason Wu, Attorney at Law.
Jeff with the Loan Depot.
Rhino of Hawaii Unified.
Janice with Dreamhouse Drafting. If you want to get a hold of any of our sponsors, just go to teamlally.com.
We also want to give a big thank you to Leah Rodriguez, our producer here in the studio.
Chee-hoo.
Make sure to tune in next week. We'll have an awesome guest talking about something that'll change your life
forever. This is the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the guaranteed
sold program. If we can't sell your home at the agreed upon price and or time frame, we'll have it bought for cash. Thanks and aloha.
The preceding program was sponsored by Team Lally.